again, everyone. Welcome inside the Adam Jones podcast, presented by the Baltimore Banner. I'm Jerry Coleman. He, of course, the former five-time All-Star Adam Lamarck Jones. I had to Google it. I found the middle name after all the times you calling me Gerald. Just ahead in episode number 20, Adam. Number 20. Former Orioles skipper, now the manager of the year with the New York Mets. His name is Buck Showalter. He'll join the festivities shortly, and, man, he's got a bunch of stories for us. In addition, Adam's going to discuss his trip to Sarasota, where he's broadcasting live and making sure that he gets out of town before I arrive next week. And he'll talk about his visit to Orioles camp. You may have seen a lot of that on social media, and the differences between the Cactus and Grapefruit League. He's experienced both, plus another edition of Socially Speaking, where we correspond with one of our listeners, and we have a big prize giveaway where you can become eligible by following us and rating our podcast and letting us know at Adam Jones Pod, at Adam Jones Pod, Adam Jones Pod, all over social media. We'll get to Lamar and the Ravens next week for sure. That mess is still about to be sorted out, and we'll have some opinions once it is. And we're going to hear from Eric DaCosta and John Harbaugh exclusively on the podcast. You heard it here first in a future episode. First, we want to welcome aboard our newest sponsor, Miss Shirley's. We are so grateful to have you. We love Miss Shirley's, don't we, Adam?
Always do, and they've treated myself and family very well.
Yep, award-winning brunch. They may not know that my nephew Cole once worked there, but we'll get to more about Miss Shirley's and our sponsors momentarily. All right, let's bring in our aforementioned featured guests. Let's head right down to Port St. Lucie, Florida, or as Adam refers to it, Port St. Lonely, Florida, where he's not lonely, surrounded by many inside the Mets clubhouse. The reigning National League Manager of the Year, former Orioles skipper, current Mets skipper, he is Buck Showalter. Buck, do appreciate you taking the time and joining us, and we'll center that camera there, a little to the left, a little to the right. Perfect. How you been?
There you go.
Hot. Now, you remember when you used to, Adam, you remember you used to go to camp in Florida? And it was cool the first week or two. It's like 90 the first day down here. There's no global cooling. You call it Port St. what, Adam? Port St. Lonely?
Yeah.
Port St. Lonely.
What do you do after 10 o'clock there?
10.
I don't know. I hadn't seen 10 o'clock since I've been there. I'm night, 10 toes up.
Yeah. 8:30, that city is shut down. Copacabana is done. Everything is done.
I can tell you one thing. My 40th anniversary is tomorrow, and I will not be asleep at 7:30.
Well, congratulations to you and Angela. She's put up with you and all that. Did she try to talk you out of the Mets job?
No. She tried to get me out of the house. You kidding me? Just like Adam's wife. She's saying every spring, Adam, you got somewhere to go, please.
Go. Please go for give me a week alone, please. And she's going to Athens, so just I get there, she goes somewhere else.
That's how you stay married, okay? Right there.
Yeah.
All right, I'll kick it off real quickly by asking, and this is like an obsession with the New York media about who's going to be your starting pitcher, your opening day pitcher. They need to know right now. It's so important. Is it Scherzer? Is it Verlander? What I want to know is, have you talked to those two about the way you and the Orioles and Adam beat them in the playoffs back in 2000, I think it was 14 in the divisional round, because that was the last Orioles playoff series victory, and you guys were a part of it.
Well, let's get the story right, okay? As Adam will tell you, we didn't beat them. We beat the relievers behind them. And the key was to make them throw a lot of pitches early so we could get some of those slap you-know-whats out there.
First and foremost.
You can say slapdick. It's okay. It's an uncensored podcast.
Hey, he's got a job, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
We're smart. Skip, I want to know, you're one of the most creative and most prepared human beings I've ever been around. New rules, obviously, you probably had the handwritten draft on the newspaper. What are you going to do? How are you going to do that? Because I know that obviously the infielders can't do stuff. The outfielders can do stuff. I've seen that. I've seen what they was doing the other day at another camp. I'm like, I can't let nobody's secrets out. But what are you going to do if, in a way?
Well, I'm fortunate that Jeff McNeil has played the infield, and he's going to play some left field. The real one's going to be, are you going to take your right fielder and put him in a deep shortstop position with a right-handed pull hitter? There's going to be some things you can do with a five-man infield. I think if you're willing to cede a certain part of the outfield, There's still going to be, they didn't eliminate shifts. I love how people say they eliminated shifts. They didn't eliminate shifts. They just moderated them where you have certain things. The shift can still be there, but you're going to have to give up even more in order to play one. I know right now, Jerry, that Adam would be campaigning to play shortstop in this new, and he would have been good at it. He would have been good at it.
For sure.
Also, you got pitch clock. I went to an Orioles game recently, and I mean, I'm looking this way, look back, it's the 6th inning. I'm like, this game is going a lot quicker. As a fan, personally, I think that, the first 6 innings, I get it. The last 6 innings, I can't. There's too much riding on situations for me to be like, oh, no, 15 seconds. No, hell no. Maybe 20 seconds later in the game or something like that. You think something like that could be tweaked? Because the first day somebody got called out on strike 3 in the 9th inning in a game, like that cannot happen in New York.
Ooh. Adam, I've said all along, and I know some people roll their eyes. I think the last 2 innings or maybe the 9th inning, they should turn the clock off. Okay. I just think, guys, because someone in the stands would not want to see an end, like a game end on a call like that. It's kind of interesting to me. I don't think I've ever seen so much consistent positive press about the speed up rules. But you got to keep in mind who's writing these articles. It's not the players. It's not the fans. It's the people that watch or go to every game. The writers are all going to love, in the media. Let's face it, they're speeding up the games because of TV. TV's telling them that the games are too long and not enough people are watching them. They're not able to advertise as much. A lot of this is being driven by the TV. So you've got to shorten the games up somehow. Personally, the umpires have had the toughest job. They've got a real grind. And now they've added even more on, maybe why a bunch of them retired this year. But I wish they would just said, hey, we're going to hit quicker and we're going to pitch faster and all this other stuff. We've bitten off a lot here. We've bitten off a lot, and everybody is testing the limits of competitive skills. Max Scherzer, Verlander, these veteran pitchers, somebody said, well, they didn't do it in the minor leagues. Well, they're a little more rule follower. These guys are looking for a competitive edge. And right now, I think it's going to affect the hitters a lot more than the pitchers. Adam, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think situationally, it's going to affect. I mean, I was watching just guys go up there, and it just at bats is getting over. Pitchers are ready to go. I mean, I seen Scherzer where didn't he strike somebody out in 21 seconds or something like that. Like, hell no, I'm stepping out, and you only get one. Like I get you want to work fast, and I get he's got the thing on his own wrist. He's calling his own game.
Yeah,
and I get that, but like I said, I think later in the game there needs to be lax because big situation, right? And I gotta analyze this situation. I'm not just gonna step into the box, man on second, no out and just be like, oh, what's going on? And like, no, I need to get in there and really analyze the situation. And I think there's gonna be some tweaks, like there is everything.
One of the problems. I think you're going to see them change that I think the pitcher needs to take his signal on the rubber. Taking the signal off the rubber, then jumping on the rubber and throwing just as the hitter looks up. I don't know if it's a real healthy thing for the hitter, the catcher, the umpire. I just think you're asking for some potential. I know there's been a lot of talk about maybe making the pitcher take his sign on the rubber. We'll see. They're certainly not going to ask me and you.
One other thing to that. I was talking with Cedric Mullins about this, and maybe something you probably have thought about and looked at. When does the clock actually start for the change of inning? Does it start when the pitcher crosses the line? Does it start when he gets into the dugout? Does the clock have anything to do with the pitcher and when he crosses the line? Because if Cedric's catching the ball in left center field and leading off the next inning, like, is there a way to the pitcher to get him an extra 10, 15 seconds? Because that's a far run. He's fast, but he's still got
it starts when a bullpen guy coming in enters the warning track area. We had a play yesterday, Adam. Why don't you think about this? And Mark Canna, who's, real smart kid, Cal Berkeley, pretty level-headed, but he had a tough time yesterday. He's playing right field, ball hit down the right field line, foul. He has to go retrieve the ball because there weren't ball boys there. and he could not get back to his position in time before the next pitch was thrown. Then there was a duck flare in front of him. He sprinted all the way in for that. Next guy made an out. He's leading off the inning. Third base dugout from right field. I mean, he's sprinting up to the box, and he just snapped. He just said, I can't. This is crazy. He went from retrieving balls, couldn't get back to position, taking a duck flare, sprinting across the field trying to get ready. I don't think that's the way it's intended. And that's why I'm keeping our AA, AAA manager with us, because they know all this stuff. They've been living it.
Yeah.
But they're also seeing things at our level they didn't see there, because these guys are testing the limits of the rules to try to get a competitive edge.
Hey, Buck, hold that thought for a second. Let's acknowledge our loyal sponsors here on the Adam Jones podcast and thank them for their participation, including the legendary Miss Shirley's. Their brunch is second to none. Give a gift they'll savor. Award-winning breakfast, brunch, and lunch. Also for birthdays, anniversaries, thank yous, and holidays by giving Miss Shirley's gift cards. Voted best brunch in Baltimore Magazine's Best Restaurants Readers Poll, as well as best pancakes in the country by the Food Network and foodnetwork.com. Visit Miss Shirley's Cafe in 3 locations: Roland Park, the Inner Harbor, of course, Annapolis as well. Head to missshirleys.com/gifts and get yourself a gift card. Also brought to you by BMW at Towson, home of the best service department in all of Baltimore. Get your BMW or all cars that you own serviced at BMW of Towson, easily located just off York Road and exit 26A off I-695. Adam loves when I talk about their waiting room. Very customer friendly. By Be More Around Town. I think Adam ran into the owner, Brian, down in Sarasota. They got their opening day orange tailgate coming up, set for Thursday, April 6th. More than 2,000 attended last year. You better get your tickets quick, folks, because this is going to sell out. Open bar, live entertainment, all sorts of food. Head to BeMoreAroundTown.com. By Dennis Wyman and the fine folks at the Wyman Group. By our friends at Jack Daniels. Please drink responsibly. By G-Leaf Medical Cannabis Company. Visit gleaf.com, and they offer free medical delivery for qualified patients in the state of Maryland. And the Baltimore Banner, of course, offering 6 months unlimited digital access for just $1. All you need to do is visit thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get started. So are we seeing the end here, Buck, of Tommy Trumpet, the walk-in music from the bullpen or the walk-up music from the dugout? Is this the end of an era?
Well, I don't know. I don't think John and Mary and a family of 4 say, geez, wonder what I'm going to go tonight because I'm going to listen to a walk-up song. But, I think you're going to see the comeback of the golf cart. I do. And I'm thinking about putting speakers on Edwin's golf cart and play that sucker as he's coming in. There's no way you can take that out of the game. I went to, old guys have to go use the bathroom between innings, but I quit going just so I could listen to him come in. That's special.
You're being honest. You're reconsidering the bullpen cart, which I love so much. I mean,
I think you're going to see guys come in with a cart because you got X amount of time from the time you hit that clay. Adam would be riding it in with him.
He'll drive it. He'll be driving it, and let the guy off and go out and and do his thing.
No, Adam would have somebody drive him. Careful now.
What about this unbalanced schedule now? I know when you were the manager of the Orioles, you talked about having to deal with the teams in the AL East all the time in spring training and then seeing them again during the regular season. How do you feel about the fact that you guys are going to visit all these places in baseball, including Baltimore in August? I'm sure you know about that trip, and that's got to be something you're thinking about, maybe in the background, not right now in spring training, but that's going to be a pretty big deal when you come back to Baltimore.
No, there'll be a time and place for it, but I think we're getting closer to a really good schedule. It's better. We played we played 79 games in our division last year. We're going to play 52, I think, this year. I personally would like to see everybody play everybody the same amount of time. I would like to have, if we're competing against the Philadelphia Phillies, them face the same teams 3 times at home and 3 times on the road. Now, the math doesn't work out. It would require a few things to get done, but I just think everybody should play everybody, and we should all face the same competition. Then at the end of the year, you have a true wild card champion, and not because you were just in a division that you beat up on. If everybody's playing everybody, then the wild card means more.
Well, I was talking with Adam, in a previous podcast, we were talking about the fact that, the NBA does that and the other sports, the long sports, the NHL and the NBA, where the fans get to see your players, at least one time a year, as opposed to have to wait, 3 years.
It's like I said, it makes too much sense for them to do it.
When Adam was in Baltimore, they had this pie in the face routine. It sort of got outlawed for some reason. I don't know if it was because Adam was too forceful. That's what he's claimed in previous podcasts. How did you feel about all that nonsense that went on when you were manager here?
I was fine with it. It wouldn't have gone on if I wasn't fine with it. What do you mean, Jerry?
Well, they ended it.
No, that was nothing from me. It was from another source. Ended it.
I'm aware.
It's okay. It's the people that are over us. But these people that suppress personalities and try to make them. This is a hard game to play. Quit taking yourself so seriously. Lighten up. What's that song? What's that line in Stripes? Lighten up. I don't know. But I don't know.
Francis.
People, lighten up,
Something
Francis.
like
Everybody needs to quit taking themselves so seriously. We're not getting out of this alive, and everybody's taking everything so personal, and everything is just, please quit taking yourself so seriously. So the pie, I don't care. I got credit for a lot of things that I really didn't care about. Like, did you see me suppress Manny Machado's personality? Come on. Everybody's different. Thank goodness. We're from different areas of the country, different parts of the world. And, don't try to talk about something you really don't understand.
All right. So I don't understand the economics of baseball. Maybe you can explain them to me, because the contracts just keep getting larger and larger.
They don't
and
pay
larger.
them unless they can pay them. They're getting
Is there a
funded.
ceiling?
They're getting funded. I mean, believe me, the money, they're not giving away money they don't have. Okay. It is what it is. Jealousy is a horrible emotion.
We were talking contracts, Adam, and I'm not jealous of anyone except everyone who's making more than me, which is 99.9% of the country. But the fact also is we were also talking about the pie in the face routine, and Buck was saying he never had a problem with that. We know it was more of a higher level issue, and they may bring it back at some juncture. But what we also didn't talk about, Buck, is on a previous podcast, we had Dan Duquette on, and Adam informed us all, and maybe you knew this, that when he was out there during batting practice, players would use him as a target and take aim at him. So I guess maybe you knew, I don't know, but no one ever scored the money shot.
No, it may have something to do with he had that Red Sox shirt on.
He was weird like that. Like, why would you wear that?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Dan didn't care. It was like he just went into his closet and just like pulled it out.
If I walked into the clubhouse with a Red Sox shirt on, I would be turned around right away.
If you worked for him, you wouldn't be. If you had one in the closet.
You'd probably get a job if you had one. If you're from that area of the country. There's certain regional bias that everybody has.
Yeah. Before my technology failed me, I was asking about the pressures, non-pressures of New York, and I was playing for an owner that gets whatever he wants, a city that is that obviously expectations are extremely high, fan base that wants a winner, but also a clubhouse of some of the most professional that you've ever been around. And how is that managing that team? Because you manage a different team in Baltimore. You managing a completely different team in New York City, but at the same time, you're still managing men with the same goal. So, how is New York?
Adam, as you well know, every situation is a little different. You don't ask the players to adjust to you; you just adjust to them, and you kind of try to get a feel for what's needed, and you try to bring what's needed, but you also stay out of the way and let good players play. Sometimes the best managing you do is the managing you don't do. You don't want to, and that's one thing I always said about Joe Torre. He was great at playing a good hand well. And sometimes, things can change quickly in a week with a few injuries. But, New York doesn't have a corner on pressure, but there's certainly a sense of urgency there that doesn't exist everywhere. There was pressure in Baltimore, but we put it on ourselves. What they say, pressure is a privilege. There's just a day-to-day. David Cohn had a great line outside my office one night at Yankee Stadium after he got booed off the field. He said, "Hey, they're waiting to embrace me. I have to give them something to embrace me for." And that's really what it is. They will embrace you wholeheartedly, but it will make you feel like you're better than you really are, and make you feel like you're worse than you really are. You got to stay away from the snowball there, because things can snowball real positive and they can snowball real negatively. So the baseball season is about shortening the bad times and stretching out the good times, because you're going to have both during 162 games. But, when you figure it completely out, I just try to take each day and treat people like you like to be treated, and knowing it's not always going to be reciprocal. It ain't fair. When we got eliminated last year, it's a tough clubhouse, but I said, guys, the game's not always fair. Everybody here thinks they deserve it this time of year, but you grind like heck to roll the dice in October, and that's what we're trying to do down here in St. What do you call it? St.
Lonely.
My final question for you, Buck, and it does deal with the media, because obviously this is your second time around in New York, in between with the Orioles, a stint at ESPN. You feel like you're better equipped to deal with all these people. And the sports talk radio, man, in that market, I don't know how you can stand listening to it, because it really is out of control.
Russ, are you that stupid?
You're proclaiming the Mets are going to win the NL East.
Yeah, and what, you think they lost because of something I said? You think they lost because of something I said? You think they lost because of something I said?
You gave them the kiss of death.
Russ, you idiot. Hey, Russ, you idiot. Do you think they lost?
Blame the talk show host for losing the game. That's how passionate,
right,
or maybe
he's probably right,
crazy some of these fans are.
He's probably right. But, first of all, I don't read anything, and I don't listen to any of those. And if you come in my house, as Adam knows, and I'm watching a game, any sport, it'll be with the sound off. Because if you're going to interact with those people every day, and you're going to, because it's part of your job, you can't be reading and listening to every little thing. It's what I tell the players. You can't. And I'm not on any of those different communication things, Facebook, Twitter, all the different Twitter, all the things that they have, whatever they are. But I choose not to be a part of it. It doesn't make me right or wrong. I can't do the things I need to do for the players every day if I'm constantly letting my personality be shaped by what I'm reading every day.
You're a grandfather. And how was this? I mean, you're able to share do you ever share those great moments with your grandchildren? Obviously, I see a lot of what Angela puts with you guys and the Mets on Facebook. Your kids are even closer by being on the East Coast now. And you go to DC, to take a train. Just how is that, just all of it culminating? Obviously, you're still managing. You don't need to. You can just be traveling. Angela don't want you there. But just it's all coming together. Although it's just coming together as a grandpa. How is that?
Yeah. Adam, just wait. Your day's coming, and you'll remember this. I'll be gone, but I'm gonna tell you, it's kind of a payback. I've got 4 grandsons, and the great thing is they go home at night. I don't have to pay any of their bills. My daughter and son. It's special, and anybody that's doing it, it's expensive around Christmas and birthdays. I can tell you that. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. They're down here now with our anniversary tomorrow, and sleep. People don't realize in spring you get home in dark. I do, and you leave in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife stays for about a week. She said, "This is crazy. I'm going home," and she will after the anniversary, and we'll move on and shoot for 41. Let's see you hang in there, Adam. I know you got a great family, and I'm really proud of you. They've heard me say a lot of times, Jerry, that the 2 hardest things you'll ever do in your life is be a good father and be a good husband, but it's also the most rewarding, and you got to work at it. And
yes, you do.
If you work at it like Adam did in baseball, he'll make 42.
Nothing like family. Nothing like family. Family
Nothing
first
like
always. Congratulations on the anniversary, too. Thanks for taking
Best
the
of luck
time.
this year.
We know how long the days are. They were always long when you were here in Baltimore, and I'm sure that's continued down in Port St. Lonely, Florida. But you won't be lonely on your anniversary, Buck. Thanks for being here, and we look forward to catching up with you at some point during the season.
All right. God bless y'all. Thanks for having me.
Well, Adam, he's never shy. He's not a wallflower exactly, as we knew from his days in Baltimore, and that's carried over to the Big Apple. But, man, family is very important to him, just like it is to both of us. But he's a baseball lifer.
Oh, he's a lifer. He couldn't be away from it. He's a lifer, and I believe when he's done his tenure here, I think this is a just probably setting up for an emeritus job later. You know, I just want him to win one. He needs one. I think he's going to the Hall of Fame, but he needs one. I agree. He needs to be hoist. And I want them to hoist him up like they do in Japan and hoist him up over there.
Carry him right off.
And just
that'll be his final game. Now, what a way to go out that would be.
In his uni with his hand right here, just go home, just like that. Don't even get your clothes.
He deserves it. Yeah, if anyone deserves it, it's Buck. Let's travel in the ship, Baltimore and beyond. And, well, back to Sarasota where you are, Adam. And there were all sorts of pictures on social media in the past week. Even the Orioles retweeted the fact that you were back in Sarasota. So what's it been like to be back at Orioles camp, see some familiar faces and some unfamiliar faces?
Well, first I came here working with my charity BAT, baseball assistance team. I took the Florida assignment because Arizona was just too far from Spain. So I was like, yeah, it'd be a great chance to come back on this side and see the guys, but also raise money for the organization. But no, it's been great. Being in Sarasota is familiar. I know where I'm at. I don't need driving directions. Very familiar with just really everything. The streets. Played a lot of golf out here. Was able to reconnect with a lot of friends. Have some dinners with people I haven't seen in a while. But no, overall it's been great. And the energy at the ballpark and the clubhouse is real. I think that it's going to be a really strong year. I had good conversations with John Angelos and Mike Elias. So I think that things could be moving in a really good, positive direction, just professionally with us. And it just was a good time. I think the aura around here is that we have a good squad, and we're going to put out a really good product, and hopefully we're in the mix when all the cards are folded.
Well, I hear you saying we, and I love the talk and the way things are heading in that direction. And the fact that you were down there, it had to be kind of an eerie, special kind of feeling to walk back inside Ed Smith Stadium as a non-player for the first time.
It was, because I never went through the bullpen on the concourse. I never walked the concourse during the game. But no, it was definitely different. A lot of people said, second look, Adam,
is that you?
Because is that really him? And no, it was good. It was good to see the game. Obviously with the new rules speeding up the game so fast, it's you definitely have to pay attention, I should say, if you're a fan. And I think that's a great thing, because if you don't pay attention, you're going to miss probably the inning for real. But no, energy was great. Obviously it was definitely nostalgia. I think that's probably the best word to use for it all, is nostalgia being around here. But these guys are for real. They got some really good leaders in that clubhouse. Some guys are hungry. Guys are gonna get a lot of chances. So I think this year's gonna be a good baseball year for them, for the Orioles, and as long as they stay healthy, that's the number one thing. The right guy. I mean, not everybody has to stay healthy, but just the sky is really the limit when it comes to them. And they have Elias and has done a fantastic job with putting a damn good, exciting product on the field. Obviously, they have things to prove, but the excitement is all there. You look at their Twitter, you look at the excitement for these guys are all there, and they all got really good flow when it comes to hair too.
Well, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask a probing, nosy question, like the conversations maybe with ownership or with Elias. What did they bring?
Well, we just talked. Really, to be honest with you, just had good conversations catching up. I didn't know Elias previously, obviously professionally. I know of him and what he's accomplished, but don't know him personally. And we just sat down and just had a professional conversation about, careers, sports, the team, the game, opinions. Me and John, we had a really good dinner, and we was able to just catch up. It's been a while, and we were able to just talk. as two grown-ups. And, hopefully we can talk more in the future, because I think that it's good for both of us. I believe the franchise. I mean, I'm one of the franchise leaders in a lot of categories, especially in the last decade. Number 8 is the leader in, damn near everything. I'm Camden Yards leader. But no, just the, I just think it's obviously always been a mutual respect amid whatever people have ever thought, I guess, unless you know me. Like, you don't know what my feelings have ever been towards the Angeloses or towards anybody, towards the Orioles. They've always been great. It's business. But no, hopefully the ball can get moving in a good direction. And I'd say you never know what could happen. But everything it's been really, really positive and really good to be down here, to be honest with you.
That's great to hear. I'm going to assume that you picked up the check for the Angelos dinner because you got that Oriole bag. No. You got that Oriole bag behind you. I thought you got that in exchange for paying for the dinner.
No,
for those watching on YouTube.
I was traveling and I needed some laundry done, and the clubbies at the Orioles, man, the best. Freddie Tyler, PT, Andrew. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's just Bunny's still there, but they gave me a bag. I brought it in like a bag, like the actual, went to the store bag. They gave me a nice bag. I haven't had one of these in a long time, so yeah. It's definitely bringing back a lot of nostalgia, a lot of good memories, good emotions, walking the halls and stuff like that.
All right, let me ask you real quickly the differences, because you've been a participant of both the Grapefruit League and the Cactus League out in Arizona. Is there a significant difference between these two leagues in terms of playing in them and acclimating and getting ready for the season and the way you have to approach things?
Well, it's yes and no. So as a veteran like me, and a lot of other guys, it became a point to where me and Buck, we sat down, us and Buck, the older guys, and sat down and said, look, I'm playing all the home games. If you see, if you remember, I played every home game possible, unless I was either my kids were born or I was battling something or WBC. The road, it depends. Like, and also Buck never wanted to play us against the East. He never wanted us to go play.
We talked about that. Yeah.
He never wants to go play the East, and especially like you don't want to go see the ace starter right now. You don't want to go get because when you go play at the Twins or at the Red Sox, at the Yankees, their ace starters throw then, and he's like, you don't want to get that. So, don't. We're not gonna do that. But I told him I'll play every single home game. But for me, it was easy. What sucks also about Florida is that everything's far. I can't go have dinner with CeCe. I can't go have dinner with Longoria. It's just the only person really was McCutchen because of Bradenton, which was great. Obviously, it's my boy. But you just couldn't go have dinner with your friends because I'm not driving to Tampa. I'm not. But in Arizona, you can do it. You can do whatever you want. You can have dinner every night. You can have breakfast with guys. You can do whatever you want to do because you're in the same city. And there you can travel a little bit easier, I think, and go home, which was always cool. You just travel, we take your clothes and stuff and then shower and just go home. The clubbies will take your stuff back. But you get to have dinner with your friends. You're in one city, but it's crowded. So it's Florida's crowded too with the Northerners coming down. But imagine Phoenix right now has thousands of new people just because for the next 6 weeks, and it's just too many, way too many. But there's positives and negatives to both of it. Yeah.
I think next week there may be a rant in the making about the traffic down in Sarasota and their roundabouts. We may have to talk about that in a future edition. They think it's going to improve the traffic. They got another thing coming. What we have coming ahead here on the Adam Jones podcast, socially speaking, this week we got the following correspondence, AJ, and this person qualifies for an upcoming prize, whether it be a piece of Adam Jones signed memorabilia or a gift card from one of our restaurant sponsors, a $100 gift card at that. Just follow us and rate the podcast at Adam Jones Pod on all the social media platforms. Christopher, pretty simple on Twitter, writes, and his ad is at DatDudeer29. I think I got that right. It's Twitter
No, you
language, folks. At Simply AJ10. He writes, my dude, just watch a podcast with Cedric Mullins. He said, pretty funny and interesting. Overall, been watching the pod. Overall, loving it, even while working out or working at the airport. That's very nice of Chris, despite no mention of me. I wonder where he works at the airport. If he's working with the baggage claim, I need my bags out a little quicker. Somewhere else fixing the airplanes, doing the real work. Thanks for the tweet, and you're eligible, and despite not mentioning me. But we do appreciate that.
They don't want to mention you, Jerry. I mean, some people be tweeting me, be like, damn, can you just shut Jerry up? I'm like, no, because I'm too far from him. If I was closer.
They pay me by the word. That's the only reason I keep
I know
talking.
Chris. Chris is a good dude. He's a trainer also. He trains a lot of people. I like trainers. Trainers are positive people, trying to get people into shape. So he's got a good outlook on life. Yeah, but get our bags out earlier, man. Damn.
All right, that does it. We do want to really acknowledge our sponsors. They support us. You go out and support them. They're all synonymous with Baltimore. Miss Shirley's, home of the award-winning breakfast, brunch, and lunch, also for birthdays, anniversaries, thank yous, and holidays. Give a gift card they'll savor by giving Miss Shirley's Cafe gift cards. Voted best brunch in Baltimore Magazine's Best Restaurants Readers Poll, as well as best pancakes in the country by foodnetwork.com. Visit Miss Shirley's. They have 3 locations: Miss Shirley's Cafe, Roland Park, Inner Harbor, and of course Annapolis. Head to MissShirleys.com/gifts for the gift card by BMW of Towson, easily located off York Road, just off exit 26A on 695 by Be More Around Town. Get ready for their orange tailgate. Head to BeMoreAroundTown.com by the outstanding folks at the Wyman Group, Dennis and Company. Much gratitude for your support. Thanks to Jack Daniels. Please drink responsibly. By G Leaf Medical Cannabis. Head to GLeaf.com. And the Baltimore Banner, 6 months unlimited digital access for $1. Visit thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get started. Thanks to our senior executive producer. Stay classy out there in San Diego, as they say, and we'll see you next week with another big special guest. Be real, be kind, and we're out.